Now we're ready to build our cloud lab environment. We'll use the work we've done so far to populate our new environment. First, we need to set it up. In this video, we'll discuss the differences between Azure AD tenants and subscriptions. They are not the same thing. Then we will access the portal and set up our Microsoft 365 and Azure AD tenant for free. Next, we'll synchronize the on-premise environment with Azure. And finally, we will review how all of this is secured. An Azure AD tenant is reserved Azure AD service instance that an organization receives and owns when signing up for a Microsoft Cloud service, such as Azure, Microsoft Intune, or Microsoft 365. Each tenant represents an organization and is distinct from other Azure AD tenants. Tenants contain devices, users, and groups, and act as an identity provider for services like Microsoft 365 and Intune. A subscription is a billing container that allows you to purchase Azure-based services, such as virtual machines. A subscription relies on Azure AD as the identity provider, and you can have multiple subscriptions under a single Azure AD tenant. Some organizations use multiple subscriptions to allow different business units to purchase services separately. For licensing Microsoft 365 services like Office 365 and Intune, an Azure subscription is not required. These services can be paid for directly through Microsoft via a cloud service provider or through an enterprise agreement. To use these services, you need an Azure AD tenant and the necessary licenses, not an Azure subscription. For this video and most videos related to Intune and Azure subscription is unnecessary. You will only need an Azure AD tenant and an appropriate licensing. Next, we'll sign up for the 365 developer program to get started.